Now I'm going to show you something even deeper. In the Six-Day War in 1967, Israel achieved a massive victory, on top of the fact that it was prophecy, the return of Jerusalem. But 6 years later comes the Yom Kippur War. The Yom Kippur War was the backlash for the victory of the Six-Day War. The surrounding Arab nations attack Israel to undo what happened in the Six-Day War. Then there's the spiritual realm. For Israel to regain Jerusalem, that moves everything massively ahead prophetically. The Bible speaks of a spiritual war, an enemy who is against the purposes of God. He would undoubtedly stir up Israel's enemies to attack and wage war against it. The Yom Kippur War began as a calamity. It shook Israel and has shaken it to this day. So how long was it between the two events? The victory, the prophetic victory of the Six-Day War, and the counterattack afterwards in the Yom Kippur War. From the start of the Six-Day War, June 5th, 1967, to the start of the Yom Kippur War on October 6, 1973, it was 2,315 days. Keep that in mind. 2,350 days. Now, 50 years, one jubilee after the start of the Six-Day War, takes you to June 5th, 2017, the 50th anniversary of the start of that war. Anything happen? Yeah, something did. On that very day, the United States Senate passes the resolution declaring Jerusalem as the eternal capital possession of Israel. That was the beginning. That would lead to President Trump's proclamation later that year. It was a victory. And on the jubilee of the 50th anniversary of the Six-Day War, victory. So could there be a backlash from the spiritual realm, a counterattack of what happened in 2017? What happens if you add the same number of days from the start of the Six-Day War, and from that victory, 50 years later, add the 2,315 days? The number from the victory to the backlash, the counterattack, or the calamity. Interesting. It takes you not to October 6th, the anniversary of the Yom Kippur War. It takes you to another day. How is that possible? The reason is, in between the Six-Day War and the Yom Kippur War, there are 2 leap years. But 50 years later, in between the Jubilee of the Six-Day War and the Jubilee of the Yom Kippur War, there's only 1 leap year. So the 2,315 days from the victory to the counterattack, the calamity, takes you to October 7th, 2023, Saturday, the day that Hamas invaded Israel. The 2,315th day, the day of counterattack and calamity, the counterattack and the calamity comes to Israel. It's the exact same number of days between the Six-Day War and the Yom Kippur War. That's why it didn't take place on October 6th, because that was not the exact number of days.